Is it? Okay, if we'd all stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here, our last meeting of the year.
Come on, it isn't.
No? This is the Mahoning County Commissioners Hearing Room, regular meeting number 51, Thursday, December 29th, 10 a.m. And we will ask for public comments. If anyone has public comments,
Yes.
you know what? Your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I know the drill.
Okay.
Richard Scarsala, 6744 Apple Ridge Circle. Boardman, I'm here today on behalf of the William Holmes McGuffey Historical Society. We're the people that gave Mill Creek Metro Parks in 1998 73 acres of property on McGuffey Road, known as McGuffey Wildlife Preserve, a National Historic Landmark. As I've told the commissioners at previous meetings, the park never did routine maintenance on the McGuffey family pond and dock. The pond is now turned into a swampy wetland and the dock was removed this year. As I gave you previously, and I will give you another copy of a letter from the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, they have offered to assume ownership of the property and or turn it into a state nature preserve.
Wow.
With Mill Creek Park or without Mill Creek Park. Now, I realize the commissioners want to look for additional information. I don't know what other information there is other than the fact that the park has not taken care of the moral obligation to preserve this property for future generations. That part of the county is very low to moderate income. They pay the county tax levy. The citizens of Cloysville Township and Camel only can go to the McGuffey Wildlife Reserve as their closest park facility, as well as the low-income citizens of the east side. For them to find a functioning pond and dock, they now have to get into their car and go to a different part of the county. That would appear to be, at the least, economic discrimination. We have tried for many years to work with Mill Creek Park. We've always had a very good relationship with them. We gave them the property free and clear with a $15,000 award for its perpetual care and maintenance. I realize you folks were going to attempt to have a conversation with Mill Creek Park. They're very difficult people to talk with, and even when you talk with them, you don't get an answer. So we are asking you to pass a resolution or compose a letter urging Mill Creek Park to either A, give the McGuffey Wildlife Preserve to the Ohio Department of Natural Resource, or B, cooperate with ODNR and turn it into a state nature preserve. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Thank you. Anyone else?
Oops, sorry, Tom. Good morning,
Good morning.
and thank you very much for allowing me to come and speak to you
Name and
about the
address.
William Holmes
Name
McGuffey
and address for the
Wildlife
record.
Preserve. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Shirley Eckley. I'm president of the William Holmes McGuffey Historical Society. I'm a retired teacher, and I'm also a descendant of the McGuffey family. His sister Anna is my great-great-grandmother. I want to tell you a little bit about the preserve so you know how important it is. The 78-acre site is located on McGuffey Road in Coatesville Township, and it once was the home of William Holmes McGuffey, author of the McGuffey Reader. This site is a tribute to the legacy and opportunity for visitors to experience a natural, relatively
I'll make sure she gets that.
altered
Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me a second. Could you mute your mic, please?
landscape. and it's indicative of early times. The William Holmes McGuffey Boyhoe site is exonerated as a registered National Historic Landmark. And this designation means that this site possesses exceptional value in commemorating or illustrating the history of the United States. Now, this property consists of rolling fields accessible by a network of mowed trails and several bird nest boxes placed adjacent to the trails attract eastern bluebirds and tree swallowers. And the fields are home to a wide variety of songbirds and even wild turkeys. And the southern half of the properties to view red belly, give them opportunity to view red belly woodpeckers, northern flickers, barred owls, and red shoulder hawks. Sounds beautiful, doesn't it?
Never heard of a red-shouldered hawk.
Yes. Well,
I'd like to bring a bunch of
Yeah.
woodpeckers and drop them off, because they put holes in my cedar house.
it's a beautiful place to be and to walk. If you've ever gone through it, it is very beautiful. We really need help getting the Metro Park to allow us to turn this preserve, which like Richard and all the others that came before me tried to keep. And as a McGuffey descendant, it's important to me.
My relatives lived there.
You what?
My relatives were part of that McGuffey, the Lowrys.
Really?
Yep.
Yes.
You remember that? That was my aunt and uncle.
Wonderful people,
It was
So-
a beautiful farm at that time,
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
And if you've ever
many
been there,
moons
please,
ago.
if you haven't been there to see it, go up there once it gets nice out.
It is nice.
It's, I saw a lot of people, Tom and I went and saw it. And there were a lot of young men that were evidently off work and they were taking their children on these little walking tours. And it was so delightful to see them. And one young man came up and says, "What is this?" He said, "I just heard about it." And he said, "Wow, I'm coming back." So it is a lovely place and I hope that you will see it. And we really need your help to get the Metro Parks to allow us to do this. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Diane Morris Nemeth, and a lifelong resident of Poitsville. My address is 329 South Hubbard Road, and we go by mailing address Lowville, Ohio, 44436. So I grew up on the property. It was a farm, and I just built my house in the front. The farm sits in the back, but we started with my mother, who was the president of the National Federated McGuffey Historical Society out of Miami University. And we actually did all the fundraisers to pay off the property that the Lorries owned so that we could have this for the society. And when they had donated the property to Mill Creek Metro Park, they envisioned that it was going to be a light to the city because it's like a mile away from Youngstown, closer even. So, as a taxpayer, and I'm an active member of William Holmes McGuffey, and I was newly elected treasurer of the Poitsville Ladies Auxiliary for our fire department. I'm coming with concerns that after 25 years since it was donated to Mill Creek Metro Parks, nothing has really been done. In fact, it's left in neglect, except for the trails that they have and some of the bird feeders. So it was supposed to be a light to the city, and it's anything but that. So we're here to support the transfer of that property from Mill Creek Metro Parks to ODNR, because hopefully they will do something for the future as we look into 2023. And so that was my concern.
Thank you.
You're
for your
welcome.
comments. Anybody, Terry?
Terrence Asarco, 127 East Grant Street, Lowellville, Ohio. when you make a mistake, just owe up to it and do a mea culpa. I'm talking about the recent firing. It kind of happened to me with Artis Gillum and the council. They tried to censor me because I was asking questions financially. And then Art and I were at a fundraiser together. We sat together, we spoke. And he says, Terry, I'm sorry what I did to you. I should never have censored you. He listened to the wrong people. And after he did a mea culpa, I said, that's okay, Artis, it's politics, So, and after that, I had more respect for him. Do mea culpa and go on with your life, because this lawsuit is gonna put a damper on a couple people's faces. And the people that are involved in this lawsuit, you're good people, do a mea culpa, It's understandable, we make mistakes, and I do it in classroom. I get down on these kids for not listening, and after I talk to them, I'm the schmuck, because I got to know on their level why they're not listening, So just do a mea culpa, because we don't need another lawsuit with Paul Gaines, and all of a sudden he's resigning because of what? You're good at your job, why are you resigning? So just do a mea culpa and save the taxpayers some money.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, seeing none, we'll go forward. Approval of the previous minutes of board meeting number 50, Thursday, December 15th, 2022, and approval of bills for payment. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve. Second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Trafficani,
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler,
Yes.
Commissioner Remedio Agati.
Yes. Advertisement for bids number 1, engineers, Pat?
Morning, everybody. Item number 1 is our 2023 OPWC Road and Bridge Safety Upgrade Program and our 2023 sales tax resurfacing.
Okay, thank you. Number 1, advertisement for bids. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve. Second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Trafficani,
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler,
Yes.
Commissioner Remedio Agati.
Yes. Number 1, journal entries. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve journal entries number 1. Second?
Roll call?
Commissioner Trafficani,
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler,
Yes.
Commissioner Remedio Agati.
Yes. All right, agreements, A, OMB, Commissioners OMB.
Commissioners, this is agreement with Maximus U.S. Services, Inc. for the cost allocation plan for 3 years in the amount of $18,000 per year, and this is general fund.
Okay. B, Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Linda's online.
Linda,
I've got to unmute her.
Linda, are you on?
She needs to unmute.
Unmute your phone or your computer or whatever.
It's okay. It won't let me unmute her either. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay, this is convention visitors. It's agreement for the Ohio Travel Pavilion to represent and distribute travel guides to shows and events during 2023, $3,663.50, and it's a non-general fund expenditure.
Let's see.
And the next one, C, again, convention and visitors. It's an agreement with Compass Media for 2023 advertising services not to exceed $5,000, and again, non-general fund expenditure.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. EMA, Chief?
Good morning. This is for the annual maintenance, not to exceed $50,000 with B&J Electric. They're the ones on the weather sirens that take care of all of the equipment. So if we have outages, we send them over, and not to exceed $50,000 for the year.
Thank you. And E, OMB grants. Anna?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is an agreement with the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction for the Subsidy Probation Funding Grant, the 407 Community Non-Residential Felony Program Subsidy for Adult Probation Services for fiscal year 22 and 23 in the amount of $75,000 payable to Mahoning County.
Thank you, Anna. And F, recycling?
Good morning, Commissioners. F is our agreement with Youngstown State University Provided Materials Exchange Program. This is an industrial exchange program where one company's
waste and or overproduction, it becomes another company's raw material.
Okay, thank you. G, sanitary.
Commissioners, letter G is an agreement with utility contracting. This was for emergency repairs to a force main that was damaged at 12873 Unity Road. The estimated amount is $3,202.56. These are non-general funds.
Okay, thank you. And H and I, Sheriff.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is a second agreement with WellPath to extend the healthcare agreement for 5 months, July 1st through December 1st, 2022, per unit pricing, non-general. And I is an MOU with Children's Services for investigatory and security services at the CSB building in the amount of $316,037.75 payable to Mahoning County.
Okay, thank you. And J, treasurers, Dan.
Yes, good morning, everyone. This is our renewal of the annual agreement with our third-party vendor for preparation, printing, and mailing of your favorite piece of mail, your tax bill. So this is the annual renewal. And I don't mean to be rude, but I have another meeting, so I want to wish everyone, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank
Same to you.
Thank you all.
All right. And number 2, agreements A through J. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve agreements.
A through J, second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficani.
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Remedio Agati.
Yes. Number 3, change orders, lead, A, B, and C.
Good
Phil.
morning, Commissioners. A is a decreased change order in the amount of $603 for American Pinnacle Construction at 70 Todd Lane for some work that was removed from the scope. B is also a decreased amount change order for $1,225 with American Pinnacle at 477 Woodside, the same reasons. And C is a change order with American Pinnacle for chip work that was done at 7468 Rainier Trail in the amount of $225. That is a increased change order, all non-general.
Phil, you know,
Go ahead.
I
Yes.
think B has a correction on it, Phil.
B does.
Yeah, it should be 1125
Yes.
instead of 1225. Is that correct?
I can check that quickly.
Okay, and then while you're doing that, C should be 7456 and not 7468. I
Well,
think.
I
You
can
can
also
check.
check that.
Okay. I may
One
be
s-
wrong, but,
1 second.
okay. So we get everything right. No, he should have it right there.
Rainier is 7456 is the address.
Yes, okay.
Do we have an amount? Amount was 225.
So it's 12225 is correct?
C is
$225 was correct for Rainier, and I'm checking Woodside right now.
Okay.
477 Woodside. It is not in my software system as yet. I would have to find the physical paper, but
I think we have it in our office, Phil.
okay.
It was a correction
It
from the
was-
paperwork.
Yeah, it was a correction on the paperwork. So
Excellent.
we do have that. I just wanted everybody to be aware of that.
Okay.
Number 3, change orders A through C with the corrections on B and C. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, a motion to approve the revised change orders as per the agenda.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Trafficani.
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Remedio Agati.
Yes. Number 1, resolutions additions. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve resolutions additions.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficani.
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Remedio Agati.
Yes. Number 2, resolutions. Commissioners O and B, A, B, C, D, E, Yeah. Okay, Audrey.
Okay. Uh, Item A is a resolution to adopt a cash advance year-end policy. This is something we do each year, incorporating to the budgeted practices of the county for year in 2022, and directs the county auditor to process the cash advance not to exceed $1,250,000. This relates to taking care of any grants that are reimbursable grants, any projects that are reimbursable projects, funds that are coming in. We do a cash advance, and then those monies come back to the general fund. Item B is a resolution adopting the 2023 holiday schedule. That's per the Commissioner's personnel policies. Item C is the Commissioner's resolution approving the lease with Masco Inc. for real property at 160 Marlwood Circle in accordance with Ohio Revised Codes 307.09A, and delegate of certain authority to MCBDD. Item D is a resolution to transfer funds from the general fund to the Title 4E fund in the amount of $48,036.66. This is to close out one of the grants under juvenile court. Item E is a resolution to transfer funds from the general fund to the juvenile court capital project fund in the amount of $147,056. He gets me every time, but I got it right. Okay. But that was the cost that was in excess of what we borrowed for. Those were, I believe, Jim, owners' changes and things that we had to take care of. Item F is a resolution to transfer funds from the general fund to the employee separation reserve fund in the amount of $34,926. This is for programs or ERIP programs for the auditor's office and the recorder's office.
Okay, thank you. And G, dog warden? Diane? Not on. Jimmy?
Sure. This is a resolution to rescind the purchase of 2 Ford Transit vans from Middletown Ford. It's because of the build-out, delay for meeting delivery.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. H, I, and J would be facilities. Alan?
Morning, Commissioners. H is a resolution approving the moral obligation payment of $1,340 to Morris Drain Services for sewage backup at the Soil and Water Department. I is a resolution approving the moral obligation payment of $2,495 to Integrity Investigations LLC for TSCM services. J is resolution of necessity to purchase supplies, miscellaneous parts, materials, and services for the county, and estimated amount in excess of $50,000 for the year 2023, with the vendors listed below.
Okay, thank you, Alan. K and L, jobs and family services.
Good morning, Commissioners. Item K is for the resolution to approve the hiring of 4 case managers in our job and family assistance side. That's to fill vacancies. And item L is a resolution to approve a paid administrative leave for 1 employee while an investigation is going on.
Okay. M is lead and N is lead.
M is a resolution approving the moral obligation payment of $10,194.90 to VK International, which is one of the hotels in Boardman that we relocate families to while work is going on. That change order put us over, or that payment put us over the $50,000 threshold for the year. N is a resolution approving the moral obligation of $4,161.36 to Galt Heating and Cooling for an emergency furnace that was put in under the CHIP program. It will actually be paid for by the city of Campbell's program income funds, but it was facilitated through our CHIP grant program. 459 Peters Drive.
Okay, thank you. O, Jimmy, purchasing.
Commissioners, this is a resolution to accept assignment of poster mail to Youngstown Letter Shop. Youngstown Letter Shop has acquired poster mail sort, and they will accept the same terms and conditions for the remainder of the contract.
Okay, thanks, Jimmy. P, recycling.
Commissioners, this is a resolution. Resolution to accept and implement a drop-off recycling quality improvement grant, $75,000 from Ohio EPA. There is only an in-kind match from the district on this.
Okay, thank you. Q, R, S, and T, sanitary. Pat,
Commissioners, letter Q is a resolution approving a moral obligation payment of $5,218.25 to Airgas Incorporated. This is for emergency deliveries of bulk liquid oxygen, which is part of the treatment process at the Meander Wastewater Treatment Plant. Letter R is a resolution authorizing Raymond Fryan to construct a sanitary sewer line in Boardman Township per Ohio Revised Code, section 307.73. Letter S is a resolution approving the appointment of one treatment plant aide to fill a vacancy. And letter T is a resolution of necessity to purchase gasoline and number 2 diesel fuel for all county departments receiving fuel through the Department of Administrative Services state purchasing contract with Glado Trading and Marketing Company, LP, in the estimated amount of $600,000.
okay, thanks, Pat. Number 2, resolutions A through T. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve resolutions A through T.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficani.
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati.
Yes. All right, that concludes our business portion of the meeting. Am I right? Okay, I got it. I want to wish, before we adjourn, I want to wish everybody a very happy, healthy new year ahead. Take care of yourself, be safe over the weekend, and enjoy. Let's hope it's healthy and happy and peaceful. Dave, Anthony?
Just one thing I'd like to say is the ODNR doesn't give me a warm, fuzzy feeling taking over entities, and so I'm not sure, what the best idea is, and hopefully that, people can get together to, identify an option that best serves the residents of the community in the area, because that's really what it's all about, and if we don't preserve our history and our heritage and the things that made us who we are today,
That's right.
we all lose, and I see that so often. And, one thing that it always reminds me when I see situations like this, I live on the bike path. And it breaks my heart that it's not gonna go the way it was intended to go. I bought my property on the bike path in 1986, and it was railroad tracks. And the railroad tracks went all the way through Columbia, all the way through everywhere. And the intent was always Lake to River, to open a path from the Ohio River to Lake Erie, a 140-mile path. And I was a big proponent of it. And now it's stalled and it's in litigation. And, so when I look at this, I think that, there's an opportunity there to preserve some things that help us. And one of the things that I'm gonna recommend is that when we start the new year, we're gonna request that our state legislature representatives that represent all of Mahoning County, from all the reps and the senator, to attend a monthly meeting, a quarterly meeting, and for them to come in and tell us, what are you working on? What are you working on? What are you voting on? What have you done, or what bills are you implementing, and how does it benefit the residents of Mahoning County? And, we'd like to be better informed of what things are being discussed and worked on in Columbus, so that we can, ascertain that information on how it helps you and me and 235,000 people that pay the taxes for these things. So I'd like to know what ODNR would do on behalf of this property if they get ownership of it, or will it just, change hands and continue to be something that we battle with on a regular basis? I saw my community in Austintown deal with it on Wedgewood Lake with ODNR. And it wasn't a very pretty outcome with that specific, entity. It's nice now because the residents took control and paid for it themselves, but, this is something, and one of the things, and I hate to ramble, but I do often, so one of the things that it reminds me of is when I was a sales director and had to go to Europe on a monthly basis or quarterly, and we had a facility in Holland, in Imoyden, Holland. And I went into Holland quite a few times. And they always had a shortage of homes there. And the people I worked with that were Dutch in the Netherlands, they said, well, we live in a high rise, and I said, wow, that's kind of unusual, all this land. And they said, well, you can't build on it. And I said, why? And they said, because what we have is what our country is. We don't change. Otherwise, we'd lose the heritage. And they took me to Rotterdam, and they had a portion of Rotterdam that was still in ruins. And they said, this is where the Germans bombed us in World War II. And we never want to forget what happened to us so that our children moving forward always have that in their history, have that in their culture. So there's a lot to be said by both ends of the spectrum, whether good, bad, or indifferent, but the problem is that we all fall into the same, the whole country tends to bang at the edges, too far one way, too far the other way. Nobody finds happy mediums to resolve situations and entities, and, hopefully we can do something that'll make it good for everybody in the county and the people that have the opportunity to participate in this. And so like Carol, I hope you had a great Christmas, and have a even fantastic or even better and healthy, happy 2023. So,
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. I kind of agree. That's a great segue, back to this letter. You're 50-60% there, and all we want is a dialogue to see if this is something they should do. It's very simple. They understand the importance of the historical aspect of how this affects our community, and there are people who have passion. And that's what the park board is supposed to do, is understand the passion that people who like to have a natural preserve for our families and for our children. So I think this is a great start to do this. We want to continue to work to make this happen. And I think this is very encouraging letter here, because I never thought I'd see this, to be honest with you. So kudos to your organization for doing that. And Dave's right. These state legislators and our congressional people, they have very important jobs too. And they have, purse strings to large amounts of money, to large amounts of grants. They can change social policy in this country with the strike of a pen. So it would be refreshing, because I know how Congress works. I worked in Congress for 11 years. And some of these folks don't get it, because when they go down there into these ivory towers, they kind of forget what the landscape looks like back here. And it's very easy to do if you work in DC. You get sucked up in all of that flash and pizzazz and all that. But I think that's a great thing that we should do. Also bringing our congressional people. There's new legislatures now, and I'm sure they would want us to tell them what things Mahoning County needs and us as a region for we could grow and prosper. So Dave, I like that suggestion. We need to do that. And again, I want to wish everyone a safe and happy and healthy new year.
Thank you. And you know what? I think, did you reach out to the second ward councilman and the trustees in Coatesville?
Coatesville trustees are afraid of angering Mill Creek Park. I have talked to the councilman. As you know, Representative LaFleur Hagan had issued a letter, as you did previously, urging the Park District to restore, preserve, and maintain the pond and dock.
We have a new one.
This is a new request concerning ODNR.
Okay.
So we thank you for your previous support. Since the Park District is not accountable to the taxpayers, you're our only hope, because you care about the whole county.
I appreciate that, Richard. All right, we'll see what we could do. And that concludes our meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Roll call.
Commissioner Trafficani.
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner
Oh,
Remedy
before we
Agati.
adjourn,
Yes.
hey, we can't vote. Does everybody see we have a new face at the end of the row here? Holly is taking the place of Nancy LaVoy. We tied Nancy up and we shipped her out of town. But Holly does an amazing job for us, and she's been a great addition to our staff over the last year.
Thank you.
And she does a phenomenal job, and she's taken Nancy's place today.
Good, thank you. It was
Thank you.
very good.
Thank you.
All right, so do we vote?
Second,
Call roll.
motion, whatever.
Call roll.
Commissioner Trafficani.
Yes.
Commissioner Ditzler.
Yes.
Commissioner Remedy Agati.
Yes. All right, that concludes our business portion of the meeting. Please have a